And okay, we are live, and I've got another G.I. Joe classified unboxing for you. This is Dusty. Getting off to a little bit of a later start today. It's almost midnight. But I had some things I needed to do for work, so I had to go run do those real quick. And I'm back home now, and I ate something, and I'm ready to get another one of these out of the way. Now, this is another recreation of one of my Lost episodes. I was able to get one of these for cheap off of Amazon, so I can go ahead and open them again. I was going to do it for, I was going to get this figure for custom purposes anyway. So, yeah, it was worth picking up another one just to do the live stream so you guys could see the unboxing, the opening of this figure. What is this over here? Yeah, it's Action Force figure I opened earlier. That's one of those plain green troopers. So that's for another custom project, but maybe I'll put that up on YouTube later. You'll get to see it. If not, check out my Facebook page. It should be on my Facebook page. So, Dusty, this is technically I cheated a little bit because I already opened them a little bit. Because if you saw the figure, the picture I posted of this figure, like I think it was last week, when he arrived, his arm was off in the package. So you can see, thanks to you, this product has a second life. Yeah. So what I'm guessing happened, the seal was broken at the bottom. It was already untaped when I got it. So what I suspect happened is when whoever got this figure went to take it out of the package, they probably just yanked on his arm, and the arm wasn't on very well, and they probably sent it back because they thought they'd broken the toy, but he's actually not broken. I was able to get the arm back on there. I decided it would be a good idea to, since it was unsealed anyway, I'll go ahead and, take him out and heat up the arm and pop it back on. That way we don't have to go through a boring sequence of me putting his arm back on in this video, and we can just talk about the figure. So got some nice artwork on there. This is a little more painterly and realistic than some of the other artwork that we've seen recently. It does feel very Dusty, and I don't mean Dusty in that the character's name is Dusty. I mean Dusty in that, like, it evokes that sort of desert feel. Like, look at how the sandstorm and everything. It's very cool. I like this artwork an awful lot. They're going to reuse this artwork on the Tiger Force Dusty. I've already seen pictures of the box art online, so I know how that's going to go. But they kind of, I guess, digitally went back and recolored him so he's in the Tiger Force uniform rather than this one. But that's going to be one of those ones where, like, the box is solid, so it's going to be a different layout. So it should be interesting. I'm going to make sure I keep this box so that we can compare and contrast the different boxes once we've got them in. So let's go ahead and open them up. Now that we've looked at the artwork, I got this picture on the back again, by the way. Nice picture. Got a lot of characters on there like Spirit, and Flint, and Firefly, and Major Blood, who I didn't manage to get. Got Crocmaster, got Alley Viper. I'd like to have more Alley Vipers. There is this mysterious fellow squatting at the bottom of the Arashikage symbol. So I'm not sure who that is. There's a number of people it could potentially be, right? It could be Kamakura. It could be the Hardmaster. It could be a Red Ninja. I don't know. But maybe we'll find out. How about that? So he's got a lot of accessories we can see, and we're going to go ahead and pull those out of the package. And first we have a smaller pair of goggles, and then we have a larger pair of goggles. We'll get those yanked out. And then those are the ones that go over his helmet. Speaking of which, there's his helmet. It's got a Havelock molded onto it. Usually with Dusty, they like to do the Havelock as soft goods, but this time they decided to sculpt it onto the helmet. So a little bit different from what we're used to with the original vintage figure. Of course, had a soft goods Havelock, and the 25th anniversary version even had a soft goods Havelock on that removable helmet. So I think they probably could have pulled it off with this one if they really wanted to, but they chose not to. So if it was a question of cost or a question of aesthetic quality, maybe they didn't think it would look good. I don't know, but I can't speculate. So we got a knife. It's a tiny little knife, and that'll stick in to his ankle sheath. And oh, almost lost it. There is the magazine that goes into the rifle. Speaking of which, here's the rifle. I can get it out here. This is one where they've got it embedded in there pretty good, but I still got it out. Mine is a little bit warped, but hopefully applying some heat will cause it to pop right back into place. It usually does. And technically, a separate piece would be this bipod. And I like the way that they did this bipod. Because a lot of times bipods don't stay in there very well. And you saw it came out when I took it out of the package. It is in a brown plastic, which the rifle is in black plastic. So that's a nice touch, helps it stand out a little bit more. Let's go ahead and put the magazine in there. And does it have a bullet sculpted into it? Sometimes it has a bullet sculpted into it, but it seems like more and more recently they've been not doing that. It does look like there is a bullet sculpted into it, so that's good. I like when there's a bullet sculpted into it, because it helps me figure out what direction it's supposed to go. So if I remember correctly with the other one, it should clip in there fairly snugly, and that's what it looks like with the magazine in there. Now, a lot of times with these bipods like this, I don't really care for them because they fall out too easily. So I just wind up getting rid of them. But this one, you can see that they've got it actually in the, where that top handle is where you would carry the rifle around. And that helps it to stay in. I haven't lost the one on my other Dusty yet, so that's good. You might be wondering what custom figure I'm planning on doing with Dusty. And it will probably not surprise you at all when I say I'm doing Doc, because Doc is the character that everybody uses Dusty for. But Doc's one of my favorite characters, so I'm looking forward to getting started on him. That's why I'm opening this one right now. That's why I chose to do that one instead of say Lady J here, who will be coming up shortly. But we got the backpack. Go ahead and get the backpack out, and you can see there are some small canteens placed on either side there. The original Dusty backpack, of course, had 2 canteens on it, so I think it's nice that this one has 2 canteens. I would have rather they maybe been a little larger and placed in the the actual place where they were placed on the original backpack, but whatever. It's still a nice looking backpack, lots of nice details, lots of little straps and things like that. Got the little loops here you could hang grenades or whatever on. Theoretically, I mean, obviously it's like sculpted on there solid, so you're not going to hang anything on there in real life, but that would be the intention that they're there for, so you can put various things on there. It's very utilitarian. Got some pouches, a lot of good wrinkles and details like that. So let's set that aside for now. And then last but not least is Dusty himself. Now, one thing that I think would have improved this figure somewhat, as I look at the component of accessories here, is and granted there are some really good accessories here, and there are a lot of them. But one thing I think would have added a little bit more value to this figure is if he had a pistol and a holster. I kind of feel like every G.I. Joe should come with a rifle or submachine gun of some sort, a sidearm, probably an automatic pistol, but some characters I feel like a revolver would work better, and a knife or some other sort of edged weapon. With a character like Snake Eyes, you want to have like multiple edged weapons. I kind of figure every member of the G.I. Joe team, that's how they ought to be packed out. Now, obviously, you probably don't want to give guns to a guy like Storm Shadow. He doesn't really need guns. But yeah, most characters, I figure that's how they'd work best. So let's put the knife in the sheath. There we go. That fit in there fairly easily. And we can put this backpack on him. And the backpack, it stays on fairly well. It seems like it's snug enough. If you have a backpack that's too loose, what I would do is get some of that double-sided Scotch foam tape. The I think it's called Extreme Mounting Tape. So stick that on there, and that'll help the backpack stay on. Actually, with the first Dusty that I had, I used a little bit on the inside of his helmet to hold it into, and then everybody was like, "You're supposed to put his goggles on backwards, and that helps his helmet stay on." And I'm like, "How the hell am I supposed to know that? It doesn't say to do that on the package." So apparently, it's just something you're just supposed to know. Maybe somebody mentioned it in an interview somewhere or something. I don't know. Let's have a look at his head sculpt real quick before I put his helmet on. So yeah, it's a good head sculpt. A lot of people have been using this particular head for their Lieutenant Falcon. They'd clean off the camo on the face and then use this for the Lieutenant Falcon head. And I can see how it would work pretty well for that. I've been pretty impressed with when I've seen people do that. I think it looks good. And plus, a lot of people probably have extra Dusty heads from the Doc customs they made. So I'm looking forward to receiving a package soon from Gridiron Studios with their Doc kit, and hopefully that'll turn out pretty well. And then we have the second pair of goggles, the larger one that should fit over the helmet. And I kind of feel like this one doesn't stay on like quite as well as I would like it to. Like, I don't know where the one from my first Dusty is. So I think maybe it would work better if I could get it to fit over the strap that's around his helmet. But that might be another good use of some double-sided tape, is to make sure these goggles don't fall off. So, and then last but not least, we have this rifle. It does look very similar to the rifle that the original Dusty had, but it's more of a modern rifle than that one. Because obviously that was a figure that was made like 40 years ago. So they gave him a rifle that looks a little more modern than that one, but it's still very similar with the magazine towards the rear of the gun and the bipod and everything like that. And it also has a nice little extra handle so that he can hold it from the a nice little foregrip there. So he can hold it with a two-handed grip. And he looks pretty cool. And his goggles fell off somewhere again. While I was messing around with it. So yeah, maybe I'll actually glue those on there since I have two of these helmets now. So it might work better that way. So let's go ahead, and while I'm thinking about it, we'll take that back off, and we'll take the goggles that we've got on the inside, and we'll go ahead and put those over his eyes so we can see what they looks like when he's got the goggles on his face. I got them a little crooked here, so I'm trying to adjust them. I want to be straightforward. They've got little silver lenses in there. Makes them pop. That's pretty nice. Wonder if I had them facing frontwards, how the helmet would work like that. Yeah, I think that works. So he can stow the helmet, or stow the goggles under the helmet. And that's apparently how you're supposed to do that. Maybe they should have had some instructions on the box so that people would just know how to do that way, instead of having to just like watch some random interview or something online. I still don't know where that would come from. So Dusty is a really nice figure. They did a good job translating a lot of the elements of the original Dusty onto it. He's got the little name tag that says Tater on there. If I can get it to focus, so maybe we can see that. That's not one to focus so well. So, but of course, Ron Dusty Tater, which actually does not say that, it just says Dusty on the package. He doesn't get his file name as part of his the action figure's title, like a lot of these do. But it's ironic because this is one you would probably want to have the name on there, since actually Ron Tater is named after Ron Rudat, spelled backwards, and he was the designer of most of the like all of the line up until I think he left in like '87 or something like that. I think he came back at a certain point, but yeah, the guy who was responsible for a lot of the visuals and aesthetic of GI Joe all throughout the '80s and into the '90s, like his even when he wasn't working on the line, like his shadow loomed large, and a lot of the thing like the Cobra emblem, like he designed that, and of course that was used all through the line into the '90s, and it's probably one of the most iconic images to come out of GI Joe. Something he's very proud of. I believe he considers that Cobra emblem to be his greatest accomplishment, and I don't blame him because you still see that everywhere. People get it tattooed on their bodies. You know, you can get it as a T-shirt. You can get stickers to put on your car, so you can look like you're a member of a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world. Hmm. But yeah, obviously, like to name the character after the designer, that's a nice little touch, and I like that. So I always want to acknowledge that. Also, the character of Leatherneck was visually based off of Ron Rudat. The figure is sculpted in his likeness. So if you've got Tunnel Rat, who was sculpted to look like Larry Hama, who created the personalities of the characters, wrote for the Marvel Comics, wrote the file cards. You know, the guy who basically created the universe of GI Joe. And if you've got the Leatherneck figure of the man who designed the characters, and you've got like the fathers of GI Joe right there in those two characters. So that's pretty neat. I like that. Yeah, it's a lot of characters in the line were sculpted off of various people that worked on it. So, but those are two of my favorites. Also, Law, I remember he was based off of a Kirk Bogzinian. Is that his name? I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He seems like a cool dude too. So he was the guy who was in charge of the GI Joe toy line for the longest time. So these were men who were very much responsible for creating the universe that we all played in and read the comic books of, and saw in cartoons and things like that. So it's nice to see them acknowledged in such a way. So it'd be cool to do a story where Leatherneck and Tunnel Rat and Law all go on a mission together. That would be pretty cool. Maybe the villain in that story could be Road Pig, because he was also sculpted after a Hasbro employee that he's named after. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode with Dusty. So once I get the kit in to put Doc together, I'll probably do a video where I talk a little bit about that custom figure, and I'll have a side by side with Dusty so we can see what he looked like before and after. So that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. All the fun to YouTube stuff down below. We are a growing channel. Every week I see new subscribers joining our team. So you're always more than welcome. I like to have more subscribers. I like to have more people watching my videos. If you want to catch one of these live streams as I'm doing it and participate in the chat, all you got to do is hit the little bell down there, and that'll warn you anytime I'm going live. And maybe you can come in and say something in the chat if you like to. I don't really design these as being that type of live stream. I pretty much just do it as a live stream because it's more convenient to me. But I never mind interacting with the viewers, and I like interacting with the chat. So feel free to do that if you're tuning in, or turning in, whatever, however you want to phrase that. And but that's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.